For some women's basketball, Dixie State Trailblazers taking on the Yellow Jackets from Black Hills State University in a matchup against two RMAC competitors. And the Trailblazers welcome in the second night of a back-to-back. And they welcome the Thunder Jackets, as I mentioned, from Black Hills State University. Thanks so much for joining us on today's broadcast. I'm Drayson Ball, going to be running things solo today. Carrick Segmiller having to step over and fulfill his SID duties to score this game. And I'll be with you all evening as we get set for tip-off in just about 2.5 minutes time, about 2 minutes time from now, as the Trailblazers, like I mentioned, a 5-3 record coming in overall, 0-2 in conference after losses to Westminster, and then again to last night to South Dakota School of Mines and Technology. And they hope to get their first Rocky Mount Athletic Conference victory here at home tonight against the Yellow Jackets of Black Hills State. 4-3 overall record for the Yellow Jackets, a 1-1 conference record. They won their opener against South Dakota School of Mines, a team the Trailblazers lost to last night, and then the Yellow Jackets made the trip to Salt Lake City yesterday to take on Westminster and lost that game last night by a score of 69-53 against Westminster last night. And of course, Dixie State dropping their matchup against South Dakota School of Mines, and they'll set to do battle here tonight. Give you a quick little rundown of the Yellow Jackets and what to look out for. Kind of a two-headed monster as far as scoring goes, led by junior guard Raquel Wenches. You'll hear her name called an awfully lot tonight. She'll lead the Yellow Jackets in scoring with 16.1 points per game, and she can do just about everything. She's a great shooter, a 48% field goal shooter, a 47% shooter from the three, and she's going to be playing alongside Morgan Ham, who's the second leading scorer and another very good competitor for this Yellow Jackets team, 12.6 points per game, and she can shoot the ball well as well from outside, over 30% three-point percentage on the season. So kind of a two-headed monster for Dixie State. It's going to have to slow down both Wenches and Morgan Ham if they're going to want to have a chance to win this one. For Dixie State, coming in, like I mentioned, 0-2 in conference, and they're led by senior guard Allie Franks, leading all scorers with 15.1 points per game. And she had a great game last night against South Dakota School of Mines and Technology, but to no avail. Trailblazers lost that one by 2, 70-69 in overtime. And we are just a few minutes away from tip-off. We got to take a 2-minute timeout for the national anthem, but after this commercial break, we'll have opening tips. We'll give you some starting lineups and some keys to the game, brought to you by Lonnie Boy's Barbecue. 2-minute timeout for the national anthem, and back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
Radio Dixie 91.3, Young the Giant, something to believe in.
John, what song do you want to hear?
Next, Miss Calendris. You'll be on the SWAT team, the SWAT team.
That's a fantastic situation.
I should talk to you. I was going to talk to you last time.
You know, we may have started out small, but we were great. Families and fans rallied behind their team. The community cared, and everyone showed up to cheer. Now, we're bigger than ever. Dixie State is going to Division I.
Here we go in transition, and he throws it down with one hand. Catch me!
But at the end of the day, it's the community and fans that make us great. Whether you give $5 or $1,000, every dollar, every seat in the stands, every one of you can help blaze our trail to Division I athletics, because this is our team.
Welcome back inside Burns Arena. Trailblazers set to do battle against Black Hills State University in the Yellow Jackets. National anthem is in the books. And let's get you set for tip-off with the starting lineups. And we'll give you the starters for the Yellow Jackets of Black Hills State first. And they'll roll out the same starting five, a similar starting five they've rolled out all season long. I mentioned Raquel Wenches. She'll start on the guard line for the Yellow Jackets alongside Ashley Davis. Abby Switzer, Morgan Ham, and Ashley Beacom will round out your starting five for the Yellow Jackets. And for Dixie State, a slight change in the starting lineup for the Trailblazers. You're going to see London Pavlica get her first start of the season, the 5'7" sophomore guard from Las Vegas, Nevada. She played tremendous last night, especially in the second half of that game, and she is rewarded today getting her first start of the season. She'll be in the backcourt alongside junior guard number 11, Kesley Stevens from Willard, Utah, and Box Elder High School. Sophomore guard, 5'9" senior, Maddie Loftus will get the start as well in the backcourt for Dixie State. Rounding out the starting lineup for the Trailblazers, a 5'10" senior guard from Redding, California, and Enterprise High School is going to be number 23, Allie Franks, leading Dixie State in scoring at 15.1 points per game. And rounding out the starting five for the Trailblazers, 6'1" senior forward, number 42, Chesney Stevens from Panguitch, Utah, and Panguitch High School. As I mentioned, Trailblazers looking to get their first conference victory over the Yellow Jackets of Black Hills State tonight, and had a heartbreaking loss yesterday against South Dakota School Mines. And, you know, really it was one of those games where you had a situation, you had the opportunities to win down the stretch and just were not able to capitalize. In fact, the Trailblazers had three separate possessions where they could have either tied or taken the lead in that game, especially in regulation. They had two different possessions where they could have taken the lead and maybe would have been able to hold on for victory, but was not able to do so. And then in regulation, they had one last-ditch attempt, trailing 70-68 with about 24 seconds on the game clock. They elected to go for three. Allie Franks had a wide-open look at the top of the key for three, but it just was a little strong and came off the back iron. And they fell to South Dakota Mines. The Hard Rockers picked up a victory here inside Burns Arena. Trailblazers hoping to change fortunes tonight. Let's give you a few quick Lonnie Boys barbecue keys to the game. We just gave you our Boulevard home starting lineups. I think one of the keys for Dixie State today, they've got to be able to execute offensively. They got to be able to, I'm going to just say finish. One word is finish. And they got to be able to do that tonight. They weren't able to do that last night, like I mentioned. Had a few opportunities to take the lead late in that game, and they just were not able to do it. Let's get things going. The starting tip is controlled by the Yellow Jackets. Ball in the hand of Wenches. She gets all the way to the basket on the first possession of the game, and she'll score it. Quick two for Raquel Wenches, leading scorer for the Yellow Jackets. 16.5 points per game, and she starts off the scoring for Black Hills State. Into the front court now. London Pavlica gives to Allie Frank, now to Kesley Stevenson. Angle left to Pavlica at the left elbow. Back to the basket. Tries to find Franks on a backdoor pass. Can't get it to her. Now back out to Stevenson. She'll run pick and roll with Pavlica. 15-foot jumper from the free throw line. Clangs off the rim and out. Rebounded by Chesney Stevens. She tries to outlet back to Allie Franks, but it's stolen away. Yellow Jackets control. Black Hills State wearing the all-yellow uniforms tonight with the green trim. Trailblazers in their home whites with the red trim, going left to right on your radio dial. As I see it, you hear it. Black Hills State now controls. Wenches cut off by Stevenson. Gives back to Beacom. Cross-court pass to Ham. She tries to get into the lane, guarded by Chesney Stevens. Stevens falls down, and Ham lays it up and in from the right block, and Black Hills State owns a 4-0 lead early on. Minute and a half gone by inside Burns Arena. Pavlica gives to Stevens, gets to the right elbow, dribble handoff with Allie Frank. She's got an open lane. She drives, floats, and hits, and a foul. A nice little dribble handoff from Chesney Stevens. Allie Franks got it and had a wide open lane. She penetrated and was able to get to the basket. Floated and hit it, and she was fouled. They're going to give the foul to Morgan Ham, her first. And Allie Franks will head to the line to try to complete the conventional three-point play. Flick of the wrist, no good. Off front iron. Black Hills State now. Ashley Davis gives to Wenches. She'll bring the ball Now into the corner to Ham. She'll try a three-pointer in the corner. No good off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Pavlica. They're going to call a possession, a jump ball. Possession favors Dixie State. A good rebound by London Pavlica to bring that one in on a weak side rebound. A little bit of a mini full court press put on by the Thunder, by the Yellow Jackets. And Pavlica is able to break it easily. Now picks up her dribble. Gives to Franks. Ball tipped, nearly stolen away. Franks has it near the right corner. And now she tries to throw it to Loftus in the corner. And it's thrown away. Turnover Dixie State. That was a big problem for them in last night's game. Trailblazers finished the game with a handful of turnovers. Just were not able to capitalize offensively. As the Yellow Jackets now on the other end. Davis, top of the key. Left to right dribble, gets into the paint. Now spins back to her left. Kicks it out to Beacom. Beacom cross-court pass into the corner to Ham. Fakes the three. Now back to the top of the key. That's a long three-pointer put up by Abby Switzer. It's no good. We have a whistle, a stoppage of play. Looks like it's going to be a foul on Dixie State. They're going to get Allie Franks on a hold, trying to go for the rebound on that long three attempt by Abby Switzer. Raquel Wenches will trigger the inbound underneath her own basket on the right side. Inbound to Ham, back to the top of the key. That's Davis. She holds angle right, now tries to veer to her right. Setting up the offense for Black Hill State. She drives baseline, gets underneath the basket, up and under, reverse layup, catches the rim and falls in. And Black Hill State now leads 6-2, 7.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter as Ashley Davis drives baseline and gets that one to go. Whistle and a stoppage of play on the other end now. They're going to get Abby Switzer with her first personal foul, second team foul in the quarter for Dixie State. You see Maddie Loftus just comes across. Abby Switzer, not much contact there, but did get a left elbow up. And Loftus, and Allie Franks on the other end, a fading 8-foot jumper off the inbounds pass. And that's up and good. Allie Franks has both buckets for Dixie State, a 6-4 lead for the Yellow Jackets. Cross-court pass now into the hands of Switzer. Backdoor pass to Beacom, and it's blocked by Pavlica. Nice recovery on that one. And Allie Franks comes down with a rebound. She's got Loftus down court if she can find her. She does, but now it goes into the corner. Tip ball still loose and taken by the Yellow Jackets. Into the front court quickly now. It's a 2-on-4, but into the hands of Wenches now. She tries to dribble into the paint, lost it, nearly stolen away by Dixie State. Now gives to Ham. She's on the low block, fakes left, goes right, up and under. No good, but a whistle and a foul. Looks like they're going to get Chesney Stevens trying to guard Morgan Ham, and that's what she does. She's very tough down there. When she gets, when she gets going down there, that's where she gets the majority of her points. Is down there in that key, the painted area, into that low block area, and Morgan Ham will go to the free throw line to shoot two after the foul on Chesney Stevens. The first one up and good. Morgan Ham, 2 buckets, 3 points early on for the Yellow Jackets. Just a 67% free throw shooter, and she knocks them both in. 8-4, 6.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Ball in the hands of Dixie State's Maddie Loftus as she brings it in the timeline. Tripped and goes to the ground. No call. Tries to pass it back out to Allie Franks. And she does, but then she's jumped on, and no whistle and a foul on Raquel Wenches, her first. That one was kind of, looks like Loftus may have just tripped over her own foot, actually, and tried to outlet back out to Abby Franks. And she was jumped on by Raquel Wenches. Pavlica now tries to penetrate, cut off at the left block. Tried to go back door with Allie Franks, but a miscommunication stolen away by Wenches. She's going to go all the way, tries to lay it up and in, and she does. Raquel Wenches on a miscommunication play from London Pavlica and Allie Franks. Franks went back door. Pavlica threw it to where she used to be. And Raquel Wenches goes coast to coast for the easy deuce. Allie Franks, dribble handoff with Stevenson. Backdoor London Pavlica, and a great play. That time it works. Stevenson goes backdoor with London Pavlica. And the sophomore guard from Las Vegas, Nevada gets her first bucket of the afternoon. On the other end now, the Yellow Jackets. Gives to Beacom, top of the key. Now she dribbles to the right, cut off by Pavlica to Ham in the short corner. She dribbles out, gets into the lane. She'll kick out. That's Switzer. Now into the hands of Ashley Davis. She gets into the paint, now spins over to her left, kicks it out to Ham. She'll try a three-pointer, no good, too strong, but a long rebound is controlled by Switzer. Now to Ham. She dribbles into the short corner, low block, lost it. Stevens tries to chase it out of bounds. But her momentum carried her across the end line. And it'll remain here with the Yellow Jackets. Ashley Greenwood now into the game for Maddie Loftus, seeing her first minutes in this one. Dixie State trailing this one 10-6 early on, 5:20 remaining in the first quarter. Once again, thanks so much for joining us. Grayson Ball going solo today on this one, as this one is blocked by Kesley Stevenson. A nice recovery. They tried to find Wenches cutting to the basket, and she got underneath the basket, and Kesley Stevenson with a nice recovery blocks this one out of bounds. Black Hills State recovers. They'll inbound from underneath their own basket. 12 seconds on the shot clock. The inbound is given to Davis. She dribbles now into the paint. It's cut off by Lena Pavlic. Now spins back to her left. 20-foot jumper by Ham is no good. Rebound to Stevens. Chesney Stevens skied high for that one. The 6'1 freshman, 6'1 senior forward from Panguitch, Utah. And Ashley Greenwood now just checked into the ball game. She'll control for Dixie State, setting up the offense. Now veers to her left, dribble handoff with Stevenson. Back to Greenwood in the left wing. Now to left elbow, Allie Franks. She fakes the pass. She'll drive all the way to the basket. Gets that one up and in. Nice move by Allie Franks. No hesitation. Got it on the left elbow. Faked the dribble handoff to Kesley Stevenson and decided to go right to the basket. And she's got 6 early points for Dixie State, and she'll be going to the free throw line for one more. After this 60-second timeout, we'll be back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
When Southern Utah thinks of home furnishings, they think of Boulevard Home. But when Boulevard Home thinks about home, Southern Utah comes to mind. In 1974, local pioneer descendant Tony Whitwer decided to start a furniture business. He decided to name it after Southern Utah's most famous street, St. George Boulevard. Even though Tony has retired, his family's legacy still lives in who we are, a company dedicated to one goal, making your house home. Boulevard Home. Home is who we are.
Camping World is here to help you connect to adventure and explore the outdoors with friends and family. Offering new and pre-owned RVs to fit every budget and thousands of parts and accessories for any need. Camping World has it all. With over 130 supercenters nationwide, you're never far from America's #1 RV dealer. No matter where your adventures take you, whether you need an RV, parts, or service, Camping World is here to help you every step of the way. Visit Camping World in St. George or shop campingworld.com today.
Welcome back inside Burns Arena. Dixie State losing this one 10-8, 4:47 remaining in the first quarter. Allie Franks is going to be going to the free throw line to try to complete an old-fashioned three-point play. A nice move. And she got the ball at the left elbow, and she goes right to the basket. And she was fouled in the attempt, and that was a big foul because that was the second personal foul on Raquel Wenches. And that's going to be big for Dixie State if they can get her into foul trouble, which they have done to this point in the season. You see Wenches just collapses down. She was guarding Stevenson in the corner, and as Franks went to the basket, Wenches collapsed down, got two hands on the senior guard and fouled her. And Ashley Franks will go to the free throw line, and she does complete the three-point play. 7 points now for Allie Franks. Wenches now out of the ball game. She's the leading scorer for the Yellow Jackets at over 16 points per game. Now Martinez checked into the ball game. She'll give to Davis, top of the key. Back to Martinez. Alicia Martinez on the left wing. Entry pass into Messler. She tries a 8-foot turnaround jumper, no good, but rebounded by Abby Switzer now on the left wing. Entry pass now into Davis. She goes up and under with the right hand, and she lays it up and in. Ashley Davis, she's got 4 points. 3 players with 4 points for the Yellow Jackets. Ashley Davis, Morgan Ham, and Raquel Wenches sitting on the bench with two fouls. Ashley Greenwood now for Dixie State. Gives to Stevenson and Franks in the left corner. Thought about a three. Fake right to go left. Drives baseline. The bucket is good, but it looks like she's going to be called for a charging foul. Yep, she is. Allie Franks. That's big for Dixie State. Her second personal foul. And Messler, I don't know how good a call that was. I mean, she did kind of move her feet out of the restricted area, but she was moving her feet while she was trying to draw the contact there. Kind of a bang-bang play. Tough to see from the referee. But it goes as an offensive foul against Allie Franks. And on the other end, Black Hills State takes over. Switzer drives to her left. She gets all the way to the low block, and she lays that one up and in with the left hand. Abby Switzer on the board now for Black Hills State. A 14-9 lead for the Yellow Jackets, 3:25 remaining. London Pavlica now controls for Dixie State. She gives to Kesley Stevenson, right wing, back to Pavlica. Right elbow now, Allie Franks holding. Back to the basket, kick out to London Pavlica. She tries to penetrate, kicks to Franks. Thought about the three, now penetrates. A 15-foot jumper from the junction by London Pavlica is good. Allie Franks and London Pavlica connecting for all 11 Dixie State points. Pavlica now with 4. Allie Franks has the other 7 for the Trailblazers as they cut into the lead. 14-11 now. Black Hills State holding on. Allie Franks checks out. Brianna Gillen checks in for Dixie State. Davis across the timeline. She'll give to Martinez, top of the key, back to Davis, right wing. We've got a whistle and a stoppage of play. Looks like we're going to have a foul on Chesney Stevens. That's her second, 4th team foul for Dixie State. So a couple of Trailblazers in some early foul trouble. And Brianna Moyati is going to check in for Stevens, but not able to get her in on that whistle. Messler now, she'll try an 8-foot jumper as Stevens stumbled, not wanting to pick up her 3rd foul. Could not contest that one very well. And Messler puts in the 8-foot jumper. Brianna Gillen now dribble handoff with Pavlica. Fake right, go left. Tries to penetrate, gets into the key, kicks it to the corner, and Stevens lost it. It was a good pass, but Chesney Stevens took her eye off it as she was maybe trying to set up for a 3, and the Trailblazers turn her over. 16-11, 2.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. In case you're just joining us, Trailblazers on the losing end of this one to this point, 16-11. Messler, top of the key for Black Hills State. Onto the angle right, Abby Switzer runs pick and roll with Messler. And now back to Martinez, thought about a 3 entry pass into Messler. She fakes left, goes right, now back to her left. Fading 5-foot jumper, and she gets it to go. Rolled around the rim, and Katie Messler got that one to go as Ashley Greenwood now brings it into the front court for Dixie State. Right to left dribble now back behind her back. Gives to Stevenson, angle right, entry pass nearly stolen away into the hands of Gillen. She'll kick to Brianna Moyati. Thought about a 3, now she'll penetrate. Gets into the key and kicks it out to Kesley Stevens. She'll put up a 3 and she puts it in. Kesley Stevenson, a nice rhythm 3 for the junior guard out of Willard, Utah. Off the kick from Brianna Moyati. The Trailblazers cut into the lead, 18-14 now, minute and a half to go in the first quarter. Abby Switzer on the other end, no good with the left hand. London Pavlica rebounds, behind the back dribble, into the front court. Gives back to Stevenson, same spot, but this one a little strong. Brianna Moyati tried to chase it down, but a little strong on that one from Kesley Stevenson. Was nearly the same spot, but about 2 feet closer. And that's maybe why shot went a little long for Stevenson. Black Hills State now controls. 1:21 remaining in the first period of play. Ball in the hands of Ashley Beacom, and she brings it across midcourt for Black Hills State. Entry pass now into Messler. Guarded by Moyati. Cross-court pass into the corner to Beacom. Thought about a 3. Back to Messler. 16-foot jumper from the free throw line, and she's got it. Katie Messler starting to warm up. 6 points for her. She leads Black Hills State in scoring with 6, only a 2.3 points per game score coming into today's matchup. But she's done the bulk of the scoring for them in the early goings. Whistle and a foul, a stoppage of play as London Pavlica tried to find Moyati cutting to the basket. And they're going to get Katie Messler with her first personal foul. That's the 5th team foul on Black Hills State. So free throws the rest of the way for the Trailblazers as Brianna Moyati heads to the free throw line. Just a 40% free throw shooter for Brianna Moyati in the early goings here. 2 of 5 from the free throw line. This one up and good, however, and Moyati is on the board. One more for Moyati. Couple of dribbles, a spin, a flick in the wrist, and it's up and good. Brianna Moyati connects on both free throws from the free throw line. 45 seconds remaining. Trailblazers will get the ball back, barring an offensive rebound for Black Hills State. Cody Robinson fresh into the game for Dixie State. Ball stolen away by London Pavlica as Robinson tried to entry it enter it into Messler. Quickly up court in the hands of Gillen. Penetrates, kicks to Greenwood. Top of the key. 6-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Pavlica go to her left, spins back to her right, tries to go and lay it up, and she gets fouled on the way. Late whistle, thought they weren't going to call anything, but Pavlica being aggressive. Gets to the left elbow, spins back to her left. And London Pavlica will go to the free throw line for 2. First one from Pavlica up, no good. Pavlica has struggled a bit from the free throw line, a 61% free throw shooter coming into the game. Second one is up off the front iron, but gets the friendly bounce and in. 5 points now for Pavlica, and she played very well in that game last night, especially late in that game, and she really carried a lot of the energy for Dixie State off the bench. Getting the start tonight. First start of the season for Pavlica. 12 on the shot clock for Black Hills State. Shot clock turned off. Ball in the hand of Ashley Davis. She fakes left, goes right now back to her left, penetrates a long three-pointer by Wenches is no good. Rebound to Messler, though she'll try a 15-foot fading jumper at the buzzer, and it's no good. A long three-pointer by Raquel Wenches. Can't imagine that was the play design for Black Hills State to try to get a 28-footer. But that's what they got, and Messler's last-ditch effort to try to get that one to go before the buzzer was no good. Trailblazers outscored by 3, however, 20-17. Into the second quarter we go. We'll take a timeout, 1 minute, and be back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
For Grumps, the holidays can feel like the dumps.
Doesn't all this good cheer?
He asked.
Just hurt your ears?
But from time to time, something changes their mind.
I feel sad.
She said.
You can feel cheer instead.
You might be right.
So he got the card in a tree, and his cheer grew by 3. Get your Mountain America rewards card today for 3 times the cheer this holiday.
Back inside Burns Arena, Dixie State, after one quarter gone by, 20-17, trails this one to Black Hills State, and Black Hills State gets the first possession of the second quarter. And they give to Messler. Top of the key now to Beacom. Entry pass back into Messler. Ham, she'll try a three-pointer. Looks good, no good, too strong. Rebound tapped and controlled by Dixie State. Last touch it was Ashley Beacom as she was trying to get the offensive rebound, but a good block out by Maddie Loftus. As we are into the second quarter now, and Ashley Greenwood controls for Dixie State. Scorebook still says first quarter. We are into the second quarter. We'll see if we can get that change for you on the scorebug on your screen. And on the other end, Chesney Stevens, entry pass, tries to get it up to go, and no good. And Black Hills State takes over into the hands of Ashley Beacom. She dribbles baseline, cut off by Loftus. Around the perimeter to Davis. Top of the key, fakes right, goes left, kicks out to Ham, thought about a 3. She'll drive baseline, cut off by Allie Franks, and she lays it up and in with the left hand. Reverse dribble by Morgan Ham, and she's got 6 points for the Yellow Jackets. Second leading scorer for Black Hills State at just over 12.5 points per game. Ashley Greenwood now, she'll penetrate, tries to get into the lane, lost it out of bounds. Last touch, they say, by the Yellow Jackets. Looked like that one may have been touched by Greenwood, but they say it goes off the Yellow Jackets. Entry pass given to Stevenson. She'll set up the offense for Dixie State. Top of the key, tries to go back door with Franks, can't find her, picks up her dribble. She's being pressured by Ham, gets it to Loftus to avoid the 5-second call. Dribble handoff with Greenwood for a shoot. She'll take a 15-foot jumper from the free throw line, off the rim. Thought that one might have fallen. But it comes out, and Black Hills State quickly up court, gives to Ham. between the legs dribble, penetrates. She kicks out to Messler and across the perimeter into the corner now to Davis. Davis penetrates, gets into the lane, cut off. Kick out to Ham. Good ball movement by Black Hills State. Messler tried a 12-foot jumper and she'll hit it. Katie Messler coming alive for Black Hills State in this one. She leads all scorers with 8 points. Only averaged 2.3 points per game coming into tonight's contest, but she's got 8 of the 24 for Dixie State. A backdoor pass from Frank to Loftus is good. A good find from Allie Franks as she saw Maddie Loftus going backdoor. And Loftus puts in her first deuce of the afternoon. She had a tough game last night, was not able to get into a rhythm, but an early 2 for Loftus gets her going against Black Hills State. Ham on the other end tries to drive baseline, and she's called for the travel after she picks up her dribble underneath the basket. It'll be a turnover back to Dixie State. As she drives baseline, you see just picked up that dribble and then kind of stutter stepped and her feet kind of fall from underneath her. She's called for the travel and Dixie State has it. 24-19, Black Hills State leads, 7.5 minutes to go. Pavlica has it for Dixie State. It goes back door with Frank. She tries to go up, but a good block by Messler underneath the basket. That was very good defense by Katie Messler as Franks was just trying to penetrate. As you see there, Messler straight up. Her hands did come down just a little bit, but they're going to say it's a tie-up. Possession arrow favors Dixie State. Trailblazers have a little trouble getting it in, and now they throw it away. They were throwing it towards Allie Franks, and it was too high to handle for Franks, and that one was thrown away. Trailblazers turn it over once again. Black Hills State now. Summer Fox into the game for the Black Hills State. Excuse me. Ashley Davis now, top of the key. Right wing Messler back to Davis. She controls, guarded by Stevenson. Tries to penetrate, now back to the basket. Kicks out to Ham, entry to Messler. Fakes and kicks to the corner. Into Summer Fox, back to Messler, and she'll try an 8-foot turnaround jumper, and she'll hit it. Trailblazers have no answer for Katie Messler right now as she's got 10 points, the first scorer in double figures on either side. London Pavlica gives to Moyai to Stevenson. Top of the key, back to Pavlica and back to Stevenson. Thought about a 3, now she'll drive in the corner to Franks. Step back dribble, 14 to shoot for the Trailblazers. Pavlica fakes left, goes right, and she is going to be cut off, but a whistle and stoppage of play away from the ball. Summer Fox gets her first personal foul, first team foul in the quarter for either side. Nora Partema checks into the game for Black Hills State. And Dixie State will enter. Stevenson tries to find Franks, and she tries an 8-foot floating jumper and can't hit it. Had a pretty good look, but wasn't able to get her feet or shoulders square to the basket, and she missed it. Davis now gets to the low block, but it's cut off. She'll kick it. Faked a 3 by Messler, and now they'll find Ham underneath the basket. But we're going to have a 3 seconds in the key. Morgan Ham was just camped underneath the basket, and the ball was thrown around. Good ball movement, but too long in the paint for Morgan Ham, and it's a turnover for the Yellow Jackets. A whistle and another stoppage of play. They're going to get Partema of the Yellow Jackets for her first personal foul, and 2 fouls in quick succession for Black Hills State. Dixie State trails by 7, 26-19. 6:15 to go in the second quarter. Dixie State on the other end. Franks controls top of the key and another whistle. Going to get another foul on Black Hills State. Let's see who they give it to. That's on number 12, Ashley Davis. I think she was guarding Brianna Moyai here. And not sure what exactly that was. Didn't see it on that replay, but it's a foul nonetheless. Pavlica gets in, penetrates, lays it up, can't get it to go. Off the front of the rim and quickly into the front court is Black Hills State. Ashley Davis, she gives to Koser, fresh into the game for the Yellow Jackets. She'll kick to Partema. She'll try a 3-pointer. She can hit those, and she does. Nora Partema, a 36% three-point shooter, gets her first bucket to go, and the Trailblazers now trail 29-19. 5:46 remaining, and the Dixie State calls a timeout. We'll take it to 60 seconds and back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
There is a place where looking out means looking in, where an impression lasting only a few seconds will be imprinted on a life forever.
where courage is forged and innocence rediscovered, where remembering is rewarding and forgetting unforgettable. There is a place where truth is felt and where seeing is believing. There is a place.
Welcome back inside Burns Arena. Black Hills State leads this one 29-19 on the heels of a 9-2 run over the last 4.5 minutes. And Dixie State quickly falling out of this one. Of course, a lot of time to play still in this first half. 5.5 minutes, 5:46 to go. As Dixie State not able to get a whole lot going right now offensively. 7 turnovers already for the Trailblazers. They had a bunch yesterday. They had 8, in fact, at halftime, and right now on pace to surpass that at this point. That was really one of the key elements to why the Trailblazers were not in that game, or at least not leading that game towards the end of that one. Yesterday they had 8 turnovers at half. They finished with 13, but still a concern for Dixie State as London Pavlica brings it into the front court for the Trailblazers. She gives to Moyai. Now to Stevenson, right wing, back to Moyai. Right elbow is Brianna Gillen, trying to find a cutter, can't get her. And now thrown away. Try to find London Pavlica, and Davis got a hand up in it and stole that one away from Dixie State. Now to Messler, over to Partima, left wing. Low block, Morgan Ham, she'll try a 10-foot turnaround jumper, no good. Rebound to Brianna Gillen. Bring it in the front court quickly for Dixie State. She controls, top of the key. Veers to her right, tries to find Stevenson, now she does. On the right wing, now to Pavlica on the right elbow. Gives to Stevenson, had some space for a 3, doesn't take it. Now she'll try to penetrate, gives to Loftus. She'll try a 3, up and no good off the back iron. Nothing going for the Trailblazers right now as Ashley Davis controls for the Yellow Jackets. In the front court now. And she controls, gives to Ham, right elbow. She tries to dribble, low block, and she kicks out to Partima. Cross court pass to Messler, top of the key. Entry pass into Ham, left low block, and she tries to get that one up, rolls around, and off the front of the rim. Trailblazers trying to push the tempo now. Pavlica to Stevenson and back to Pavlica. Now they set up the offense. Pavlica dribbling and dribble handoff with Gillen. Tries to penetrate, cuts off by Stevenson. Cross court pass to Pavlica. Angle right to Gillen. Now veers to the top of the key. She looks to penetrate, 6 to shoot for the Trailblazers. Gillen elevates, and she's going to be called, whistling a foul, going to be called against Black Hills State. They're going to get Morgan Ham her second. As Brianna Gillen tried to float that one up and in for 2. No good, however. She'll go to the free throw line for 2. As Brianna Gillen looking for her first points of the contest. Brianna Gillen, a 60% free throw shooter coming into the game today. 3 of 5 from the free throw stripe for Gillen. A deep knee bend, a flick of the wrist, and the first free throw up and good for the 5'9" freshman guard from West Jordan, Utah, and Copper Hills High School. Second free throw rattles out. Black Hills State controls in the hands of Ashley Davis, guarded by Maddie Loftus. Picks up her dribble now, trying to find a cutter. She gets it back to Switzer. She'll get all the way to the low block, kicks it out to Ham. Cross court now to Davis. Fakes left, goes right. To Switzer in the corner, back to Ham, top of the key. She thought about a 3, now she'll drive it all the way to the basket, and she gets all the way to the rim, lays it up and in. Working on Michaela Johnson, who closed out to try to stop the 3-pointer, but Ham pump faked and dribbled all the way to the basket, got there uncontested, and laid that one up and in over the front of the rim. Morgan Ham with 8 points now for Black Hills State. Gillen on the other end, dumps it down low. That's Maggie McCord, just checked into the ball game. She tries to get a layup to go, but can't do it. But she'll be fouled, and she'll go to the free throw line for a couple of free throws. Trailblazers just not able to get into any sort of rhythm offensively, as Maggie McCord couldn't get that one to go. but was fouled by Norma Partima. Second foul on Partima. As you see, she just got over the back. Maggie McCord makes both free throws, and she's on the board for Dixie State. 31-22 lead. Black Hills State over the Trailblazers. 3:20 remaining in this second quarter. Davis, angle left, finds Beacom, top of the key. Now angle right to Messler. We have a whistle, stoppage of play. Going to be a holding foul called on McCord, her first personal foul. Just the first team foul in the quarter for Dixie State. That was their first team foul call against them in this second quarter. 5 already called on the Yellow Jackets. Messler penetrates and kicks to Beacom. She tries to dribble baseline back to Messler. 16-foot jumper. No good. But a whistle and a foul on the rebound. They're going to get Maggie McCord once again. So 2 quick fouls for Maggie McCord. The second one coming on a rebound. She tried to hold off Davis and just got a left hand in there and knocked her off her course. Now to Martinez, top of the key, cross court, round the perimeter to Beacom. Beacom's long three-pointer falls no good. Trailblazers grab the rebound in the hands of Kesley Stevenson. She kicks to Maddie Loftus. She'll try a three-pointer, no good, off back iron. And sky high for the rebound is Metzler, but she tried to outlet, but her outlet pass wasn't looking, and she double dribbles. She got the rebound and took 1 or 2 dribbles, went to pick it up and try to pass it. Looks like it was going to be intended for Ashley Beacom, but she realized she wasn't looking, and of course when she picked it up, couldn't put it back on the floor, and she gets called for the double dribble. Brianna Gillen now, left-hand dribble. She'll try a 15-foot step-back jumper, no good, too strong. Rebound to the Yellow Jackets, 1 and out once again for Dixie State. Yellow Jackets on the other end. Davis tries an up and under layup, no good, but gets her own rebound. And she's into the paint, into the corner now for Martinez. She'll try a 3, no good, off back iron. And Maddie Loftus grabs the rebound for the Trailblazers. Brianna Gillen setting up the offense for Dixie State. Shooting just 41% from the field and 25% from 3, just 1 of 4 from downtown are the Trailblazers. Maggie McCord controls for Dixie State, left-to-right dribble. She gets all the way into the low block. She lays it up, no good, but she's going to be called for an offensive foul. Second offensive foul drawn by Katie Messler as she steps in front of Maggie McCord on the drive. Gets her feet set, and that one was much more obvious than the first one that she drew. And you see here we got another replay. That one was much more clear and obvious. The other one, she was kind of moving her feet a little bit, but that one she got her feet set, had a wide base, and draws her second offensive foul. Third foul on Maggie McCord. She's only played a few minutes in the second quarter, and she's got 3 fouls. Deshka Olsen checks in for Maggie McCord. Now on the other end, Martinez, angle right, cross-court pass to Messler. Into the corner now is Beacom. Top of the key, Messler. Stolen away on a pass intended for Davis, nearly stolen away, but now lost out of bounds. Davis was the last to touch it. It was who else but London Pavlica. Got her hand in the passing lane, nearly stole it initially, but then Davis couldn't control it on the ricochet, and London Pavlica interrupts that one, and the Trailblazers take over after the Yellow Jackets turnover. Brianna Gillen now off a screen from Michaela Johnson. Into the corner now to Pavlica. She tries to penetrate. She gives it to Deshka Olsen. She'll try a three-pointer and buries it. Maybe that's what the Trailblazers need, is Pavlica penetrates and kicks to Deshka Olsen, and she drills a three-pointer. 25-31. Black Hills State still leads, a minute to go in the second quarter. Ashley Davis gets to the low block, spins around, and that one's blocked by Brianna Gillen and rebounded by Michaela Johnson. She hands off to Pavlica. Trailblazers trying to cut into this lead even further, 31-25. 45 seconds remaining. Pavlica control. Kicks to Brianna Gillen. And she'll pull it back and set up the offense for Dixie State. 13 to shoot. She'll give to Olsen on the right wing. Looking for a cutter. Now 9 to shoot for the Trailblazers. Back to Gillen. She's got Johnson in the low block but can't get it to her. Gillen now tries to dribble behind her back and lost it. Going to be a whistle. Stoppage of play. Not sure who they're going to get. Looks like it's going to be against Black Hills State. Indeed it is. Abby Switzer called for the trip. Yeah, you see that's a good call. A good angle from our CEC TV crew as Brianna Gillen tried to go behind the back, but it was tripped up before by Abby Switzer, and Dixie State in the penalty goes to the free throw line, and Brianna Gillen sinks the first. A big run here for Dixie State as they try to cut into this lead. Back on a 6-0 run over the last 3 minutes and change for the Trailblazers. Second free throw up and good by Brianna Gillen. She's got 3 points, and Dixie State has crawled back into this one. Once down 31-20, and now they only trail by 4, 31-27. Shot clock and game clock virtually identical. Game clock has about a half a second more than the shot clock. But for all intents and purposes, this would be the last possession for Black Hills State if they choose to run it down, and it looks like they are. Ashley Davis controls, now 9 to shoot for the Yellow Jackets. She gets into the lane working on London Palaga, and she gets that one to go. Catches the rim and in, and that's a tough way to end the first half. If you're Dixie State, you ended it on a 7-0 run, but that one they get 2 points to go at the end of the half and regain a 6-point lead, 33-27 after 2 periods of play. A good finish to the quarter. This one could have been a lot differently going into halftime as the Trailblazers were down 11, but a 7-0 run got them back into it a little bit, and they only trailed by 6, 33-27 to Black Hills State. Let's take a 5-minute halftime timeout. Let's do a 5-minute halftime break. We'll come back. We'll give you some first half stats. We'll give you some first half highlights, and we'll give you some overall thoughts on what I saw in that first half for Dixie State as we get just set for the second half. And we'll bring you back to our Seven Oaks Jewelers halftime show in 5 minutes. Trailblazers behind on this one, 33-27. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Radio Dixie 91.3. Young the Giants, something to believe in.
John, what song do you want to hear?
Next, Miss Calendris. You'll be on the SWAT team, the best SWAT team.
It's a fantastic situation.
I should talk to you. I was going to talk to you last time.
You know, we may have started out small, but we were great. Families and fans rallied behind their team. The community cared, and everyone showed up to cheer. Now, we're bigger than ever. Dixie State is going to Division I.
Here we go in transition, and he throws it down with one hand.
But at the end of the day, it's the community and fans that make us great. Whether you give $5 or 1,000, every dollar, every seat in the stands, every one of you can help blaze our trail to Division I athletics, because this is our team.
Tell me not in mournful numbers, life is but an empty dream. For the soul is dead that slumbers, and things are not as they seem.
Art is long and time is fleeting, and our hearts so stout and brave, still like muffled drums are beating, funeral marches to the grave. In the world's broad field of battle, in the bivouac of life, be not like dumb-driven cattle, be a hero in the strife.
Lives of great men all remind us that our lives can be sublime, and departing, leave behind us footprints on the sands of time. Footprints that perhaps another, sailing over life's solemn moon, a forlorn and shipwrecked brother, seeing, shall take heart again. Let us then be up and doing, with a heart for any fate. Still achieving, still pursuing, learn to labor and to wait.
your baby. Okay. Still, I'm not breathing.
Let's go. Take the ball out there.
Welcome back inside Burns Arena. Black Hills State leading this one 33-27 as the Trailblazers ended the quarter on a 7-2 run to get them back. They were down 31-20, and they went on a 7-0 run before surrendering a last possession bucket to the Yellow Jackets, who lead this one 33-27. Once again, if you're just joining us, I'm Drayson Ball, running things solo today. Thanks so much for joining our broadcast as we get you set for the Seven Oaks Jewelers halftime show, and we welcome you in. Glad you join us for some Trailblazers women's basketball. Get you some first half stats and some first half highlights. Let's see if we do have those highlights. Let's run some first half highlights right now and see if we have some of those, brought to you by Seven Oaks Jewelers once again, as we see some first half highlights for this Dixie State team. And this one got the scoring started for Dixie State on the first possession. Allie Franks goes in, gets the layup to go, and a foul. And she had a couple of big buckets there to get the scoring started already for Dixie State. She had 7 quick ones for the Trailblazers. And then the block there on the other end by Kesley Stevenson. Allie Franks, like we mentioned, there's 3 more, 2 more of that one. And then she got the free throw to go. She has 7 points for Dixie State to lead the Trailblazers in scoring. London Pavlica there with a casual 15-foot jumper. She was big in the first half, and then the three-pointer by Kesley Stevenson. Three-pointers brought to you by Mountain America. And Deshka Olsen with the other three-pointer. The Trailblazers made just 2 of 5 from 3. Are the Trailblazers a little bit more, not as many threes as you're used to seeing for this Dixie State team. They only put up 18 shots in that first half, being outshot 8-18 for Dixie State, and 15-33 is Black Hills State. Good for 45% from the field, just 1 of 8 from the three-point stripe, but not needing a lot of threes right now for Black Hills State, led by Katie Messler, who's got 10 points to lead all scorers in the game, and she's been kind of the real surprise coming in to the game. She was just averaging 2.3 points per game before tonight's contest, and she was kind of a load, really tough to handle for Dixie State throughout the entirety of that first quarter. I mean, she was able to get a few contested jumpers to go, and then really, I mean, she was kind of just left open at times, you know, and she was knocking down 15, 18-foot jumpers, and she was really the big story. Of course, Morgan Ham, she's got 8 points as well, and she loves to do all of her scoring down to the low block. She can step out on the perimeter and make some threes. She's a 31% three-point shooter. She does not have a three-pointer today. She has, however, attempted 3, but she's 0 for 3 on three-pointers today. She's got both free throws for the Yellow Jackets. as they continue to lead 33-27. And they right now are out-rebounding the Trailblazers 17-13. Interestingly enough, Black Hills State coming into today's game, they were out-rebounded on the season. They're not a great rebounding team. In fact, being out-rebounded 187-160, so they're minus 27 in the rebound battle, but they are out-rebounding Dixie State tonight with a 17-13 advantage on the boards. And then they have 7 offensive rebounds compared to just 2 for Dixie State, and that's been one of the big keys in getting the Yellow Jackets extra possessions and why they own a 6-point lead at halftime, a 33-27 lead for Black Hills State. On the other side of things, Dixie State, like we mentioned, and it's been a common theme for the last couple of games for the Trailblazers. Yesterday they had 8 turnovers at halftime, and today 9 turnovers in the first half for Dixie State. That's been one of their Achilles heels for the Trailblazers coming into today's game. Trailblazers on the season averaging 14 turnovers per game, and last night, as you remember, eight turnovers at halftime, but then they only had 5 in the second half. So hopefully that's a sign that they're a better second half team than they are a first half team, and hopefully they can take care of the ball better in the second half than they did in the first half, and that was really one of the big crutches for the Trailblazers is 9 turnovers, giving the Yellow Jackets extra offensive possessions. The scary thing, however, for Dixie State is that Katie Messler has done the majority of the scoring. Morgan Ham is only 8 points. She averages almost 12.5 points per game. And then the big one, Raquel Wenches, who was kind of riddled with foul trouble early on in that first half. She's got 2 fouls, but only 4 points. The leading scorer for Black Hills State at 16.5 points per game, and she's only got 4 at halftime. So you got a lot of work cut out for you if you're Dixie State, and you're going to want to stop the Yellow Jackets in their pursuit of their second conference victory. Trailblazers still in search of their first conference victory as they've dropped both RMAC conference games to Westminster, and then of course last night, as we mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, the South Dakota School of Mines, and the Trailblazers are going to have an uphill battle on this one. Like we mentioned, Allie Franks leads the Trailblazers in scoring with 7. London Pavliga chipped in 5. She's also got 2 rebounds and an assist and a steal and a block. London Pavliga once again filling up the stat sheet for Dixie State in that first half. Your other scorers, handful of scorers with 3 points. Deshka Olsen had a 3 early on. Brianna Gillen has 3 points. A couple of free throws, in fact 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Kesley Stevenson has the other 3-pointer for Dixie State. She's got 3 points. Maddie Loftus with 2. Brianna Moyai with 2. And Maggie McCord with 2 to round out the scoring for your Trailblazers. You know, one of the things I mentioned, one of our keys to the game early on, and I failed to get to my second key, which was, I'll bring it up now, my second key to the game brought to you by Lonnie Boy's Barbecue, was contain the two-headed monster for Black Hills State. Raquel Wenches and Morgan Ham together averaging nearly 30 points per game between the two of them. Right now you've limited them to just 12, and you've done a pretty good job on them, but it's been Katie Messler who's really been a thorn in your side. But if you can continue to limit the touches for Raquel Wenches and Morgan Ham and make Katie Messler beat you, and if she does that, if she goes out and scores 18, 20 points and she carries the Yellow Jackets to a victory, you tip your cap and you say good job, but you did your job in containing the 2 offensive threats for Black Hills State in Raquel Wenches and Morgan Ham. My second key to the game was my first key to the game, the only one that I got a chance to mention before tip-off, was to finish. Last night the Trailblazers had 3 separate possessions to either tie or take the lead late in that game and into overtime, in the fourth quarter and overtime, and they could not do it. They had 3 good looks at open shots. Of course, Allie Franks had the wide-open 3-pointer at the end of overtime as they trailed by 2 points. The 3 would have given them the win at the buzzer, but they just weren't not able to finish. They just were not able to get over the hump, and obviously with an uphill battle to go in this one, they're going to have to finish this one as well if they want a chance to win this one. We got to take a timeout, one more final timeout before second half action, and we'll be back. Let's take a 2-minute timeout. We'll get you ready for the second half, and back in 2 minutes on the Trailblazer Basketball Network. Welcome back inside Burns Arena, just moments away from second half action as Dixie State finds themselves behind 33-27 against Black Hills State University. The Yellow Jackets open up with the first half lead, a 6-point lead. It was 11. Trailblazers were down by 11, 31-20, with about 2 or 3 minutes remaining in that second quarter, but they finished on a 7-2 run to get them back within 6, and they will try to surmount the 6-point lead by the Yellow Jackets in the second half. And if you're just joining us, thanks so much for being a part of our broadcast today. Grayson Ball running things solo today as we begin second half action. And the Yellow Jackets control ball in the hands of Ashley Davis. She gives to Raquel Wenches. Limited minutes for her in the first half due to foul trouble. She kicks back to Ham. She'll try a three-pointer, no good, but an offensive rebound by the Yellow Jackets. They get one more offensive rebound, and they control. Davis on the left wing, and we got a stop and a whistle. Excuse me. Thought it was a foul, but they're going to reset the shot clock. It did not reset to 20 on the offensive rebound, so reset and never hit the rim. And shot clock now being set at 15 for the Yellow Jackets, and they get the ball in the hands of Abby Switzer setting up the offense. She gives to Wenches a good pump fake. She gets in, floats, and can't hit. But the rebound is controlled by Black Hills State. It's still loose. Wenches trying to get a timeout call, and she does. It was a mad scramble for the ball underneath the basket. Raquel Wenches picks it up off the ground, and she calls a timeout. It'll be just a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here for the 30-second timeout. Just had an extended break for halftime. As you see, the rebound kind of just was being thrown around, and Kesley Stevenson tried to grab it and throw it off the noggin of a Black Hills State defender, and it ricocheted off, and Raquel Wenches was able to grab it, and they got the timeout call. Timeouts, of course, brought to you by Dairy Queen, and they're going to stretch this one to the media, but we'll keep it right here. We got a few things to talk about as well, and on that possession, maybe hopefully not indicatory of what this second half will be like for Dixie State. 2 offensive rebounds on that possession, and Black Hills State still has possession on the first their first possession of the game in this second half. And they had 7 halftime offensive rebounds. They out-rebounded Dixie State by 4, and Trailblazers got to be able to be better on the boards and be able to get those rebounds and stop the possessions for Black Hills State. They already had 15 more shot attempts in that first quarter than the Trailblazers, and that was really one of the downfalls. Trailblazers didn't shoot the ball particularly badly. 44% from the field in the first half, and 2 of 5 from downtown. 40%, obviously, if you get a few more three-pointers to go and get some open looks, hopefully you can get those numbers up a little bit. But the discrepancy in shots that Black Hills State had over Dixie State in the first half is one of the reasons they own a 6-point lead. And referees over here at the scorer's table looking at something and wondering if they're looking at maybe the shot clock. The shot clock right now is at 1. I imagine they're probably looking at the shot clock to see where it should be set at in regards to when the timeout was called. And so right now it stands that there's 1 second on the shot clock, 9:23 to go on the game clock. And the referees over here trying to just find out what the shot clock should be set at. As we are in a Dairy Queen timeout. You get a good look there at the Dixie State cheerleaders. The Trailblazers, like we mentioned, got to get a lot more scoring from their bench. Had just a few bench points in the first half. Of course, London Pavliga had 5 points, but she was inserted into the starting lineup for today and not had a whole lot of production off the bench. Have 2 points from Moyai and McCord, 3 points from Gillen and Deshka Olsen, but that's basically it. Obviously the bulk of your scoring is between London Pavliga and Allie Franks, and if you can get a good push and a good production from your bench, and like they did yesterday, of course, that helped them try to get that one close towards the end of that one. Referees are finished with their review. It looks like they're going to keep the shot clock where it is at with 1 second, so it's going to have to be a quick inbound and a shot for Black Hills State. We'll see what they draw up out of the out-of-bounds play, as they'll have 1 second on the shot clock to get this one up. Now, another key thing to keep your eye out for is if the Trailblazers can get this rebound. This offensive possession was set up by 2 different offensive rebounds by the Yellow Jackets on this side of the floor. It'll be Switzer to inbound. She's trying to find someone, gets it to Wenches, and her shot is blocked. Would have been good if it went, but it was blocked on that end of the floor by Dixie State. And London Pavlica controls for the Trailblazers. She comes off a screen from Allie Franks, now gives it to her left wing. She tries to dribble, penetrate, falls over. Ball is loose and stolen away by Black Hills State. Ashley Davis pushing the tempo for the Yellow Jackets. She gets all the way to the low block, but can't get the layup to go. London Pavlica controls, pass ahead to Maddie Loftus, and she goes down low to Allie Franks. Who might have had an open layup, but didn't have her back. Had her back turned toward the basket and couldn't see her defender. On the other side, left wing, Kesley Stevenson. She'll try a three-pointer, no good. Long rebound out to Raquel Wenches. She brings it across the timeline for the Yellow Jackets and sets up the offense for Black Hills State. Passes to Ashley Davis, and now back to Beacom. Top of the key, now to Wenches on the left wing. Back to Beacom. She tries to drive. She'll kick out. And that's Switzer. She tries to get the low block cut off by Pavlica. Back to Ham. Fakes a three-pointer. She's going to be called for a travel as she was on the top of the key. Tried to pump fake a 19-foot jumper. Wouldn't have been a three, but in the process of trying to pump fake and put the ball on the ground, moved her pivot foot, and she's called for the travel and an early turnover for Black Hills State. They had just 5 turnovers in the first half. London Pavlica now, she gets all the way to the low block and can't get the floater to go. That one was a wide open shot, but maybe just rushed it, or maybe she was too wide open, but had a wide open shot and couldn't get it to go. But there's a whistle and a foul going to be called against Ashley Davis on the rebound attempt. Looked like Davis might have got away with a push, and, well, not actually got away with it, but she was whistled for a push. Pavlica inbounds and gives to Franks. She'll set up the offense for Dixie State, top of the key. Angle right to Stevenson. Penetrates. Left elbow. Gives to Loftus into the key. Bounce pass to Stevens underneath the basket, and she can't get it to go, but an offensive rebound to Stevens. One dribble and back up, and Chesney Stevens follows her miss with an offensive rebound and a putback. And the Trailblazers now down to 4 is the lead, 33-29. 7:45 remaining. Right wing, Abby Switzer. Now back to the top of the key to Beacom. Trying to find Ham on the low block, but good defense by Stevens. Angle right to Davis. Thought about a 3. Now she will try a 3. Hard off the back iron. Rebound to Maddie Loftus, and she hands to Pavlica. Pass ahead to Kesley Stevenson. She'll try a 3-pointer in transition. Bang! Kesley Stevenson off the pass ahead from London Pavlica. And Kesley Stevenson knocks in her 6th point. 2 3-pointers for Stevenson, the junior guard out of Box Elder High School. On the other end, Morgan Ham controls between the legs, dribble, shoot, now backs it out, top of the key. Gives to the left to Wenches. Wenches right to left dribble, tries to get into the low block. She's cut off, now tries a 15-foot step back jumper, no good. London Pavlica the rebound, but a foul on the rebound. Gonna get Allie Franks. That's tough. 3rd foul on Allie Franks as Wenches tried a 15-foot step back jumper along the baseline. And Frank's going to be whistled for a foul. We'll see what she does here. Pretty good block out right there by Davis. Wow, not sure if that was a good call at all on Davis. Excuse me, on Allie Franks. She didn't do anything wrong on that one. That's a bad call. Bad call on that one. And it cost the Trailblazers Allie Franks for the time being with 3 fouls. Messler now controls for the Yellow Jackets. To Beacom, she tries to dribble baseline, is cut off, and Ham now nearly lost it as a mad scramble for the ball. Ham tried to dribble behind her back, but dribbled it off her foot. Ball came loose, and a loose ball foul going to be called against Maddie Loftus. That's her first. 2nd team foul for the Trailblazers in the quarter. Beacom inbounds to Davis, who sets up the offense for the Yellow Jackets. To Messler, top of the key. She controls, now puts the ball on the floor to Beacom. Veers to her left, into the right wing to Ham. Entry pass into Messler, another whistle and a foul. Chesney Stevens going to be whistled for this one. That's her 3rd. And 3 fouls on this possession, on this end of the floor, all in succession 3 quick fouls for Dixie State in the last 20 seconds, perhaps. It'll cost Chesney Stevens her 3rd foul, and she'll have to sit the remaining of the 3rd quarter in all likelihood. Switzer now, top of the key. Entry pass into Ham. Low block, had good positioning. She turns and gets it to go. Had too good a positioning on Brianna Gillen to not pass it into Ham, and she just turned around, floated it up over the rim, a little 4-footer, and she got it to go. And now another whistle against Dixie State. 4 fouls in the last 35 seconds of game action called against the Trailblazers, and they're in the penalty now for the rest of the 3rd period. That's going to be called on Brianna Gillen, her first. But 4 quick fouls. We're not even out of the 6-minute mark yet for Dixie State. Messler on the other end. Now low block to Ham. She goes from left block to low block. Left block to right block, and a layup attempt is no good. But last touched by Dixie State as this one goes out of bounds. Maybe got a hand on that one. Brianna Gillen gets credited for the block. Now into Switzer, top of the key, trying to find Wenches on a cut, and she does, and she goes all the way to the rim and lays it up and in. A good out-of-bounds play as Wenches came off a screen, and she gets that one to go. Her 6th point of the game. London Pavlica now as the Trailblazers trail 37-32, 5.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. Brianna Gillen holds, gives to Pavlica. She's got a wide-open 3. She'll take it, and she'll hit it. London Pavlica with her 8th point of the game. Not a great 3-point shooter on the season. So far, just 18%. But she gets that one to go and cuts into the lead, 37-35. 5:10 to go for Dixie State. Beacom to Wenches on the right wing. Now to Messler, short corner. Tries to find Wenches on the back door. She does. She gets to the low block, but a foul is going to be called on Dixie State. Looked like it was Kesley Stevenson. Indeed it was. That one looked like it might have been almost a block maybe. As Stevenson, another tough call for Dixie State. Got a lot of ball on that one. And Stevenson picks up her first foul. And it'll send Black Hills State to the free throw line. They're in the bonus the rest of the way. The last 5 minutes of this quarter, Black Hills State will be in the bonus. Wenches misses the first free throw, though. An 84% free throw shooter, an uncharacteristic miss for the 5'10 junior guard from Oneida, South Dakota. Second free throw up and good for Raquel Wenches, leading scorer for the Yellow Jackets at 16.5 points per game. She has 7. London Pavlica now controls for Dixie State. She veers to her right, between the legs dribble. Comes off a screen. Thought about a step back 3. Now gives to Kessie Stevenson. She'll try a 3. She puts it up. No good. Long rebound controlled by Ashley Davis, and she'll look to push the tempo. And the ball is tapped and stolen away from the backside. Maddie Loftus got a hand on that one coming from the backside and stolen away by Brianna Moyai. London Pavlica now tries to penetrate. Now she'll pull it back out and set up the offense for Dixie State. Comes off a screen from Johnson, gets into the right elbow. She'll try a 15-foot jumper off the front of the rim, no good. And a rebound nearly grabbed by London Pavlica, but we have a whistle and a stoppage of play underneath. The basket looks like Michaela Johnson is tied up with Katie Messler. And we're going to get a foul. Looks like on Michaela Johnson as she was trying to go for that rebound. And that's her first foul. And it'll send Black Hills State to the free throw line. J.D. Gustin not happy with the call as 2 players were just going for the loose ball. But Michaela Johnson is called for her first personal foul, sending the Yellow Jackets to the free throw line. But we've reached the under 5-minute media timeout. We'll take a 60-second timeout and be back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network. Welcome back inside Burns Arena. Black Hills State leads this one 38-35, 4:19 remaining in the third period. Black Hills State going to the free throw line after the whistle and a foul was called on Michaela Johnson just before the media timeout. And it'll send Katie Messler to the free throw line. I mentioned Trailblazers already in the bonus. I guess I should say Black Hills State already in the bonus. Trailblazers committed 5 team fouls in the quarter, sending Katie Messler to the free throw line, and she hits the first. She leads all scorers right now with 11 points. She had 10 in the first half. Was really the reason for the 6-point halftime break. Second free throw from Metzler rolls off the front of the rim, rebound to Michaela Johnson, and she hands to London Pavlica. Black Hills State already in this quarter have 5 offensive rebounds, had 7 offensive rebounds at halftime. They are dominating the boards right now as Maddie Loftus tries a three-pointer on the other end but can't get it to go. Rebound to the Yellow Jackets. Morgan Ham all the way to the basket, left to right dribble, now gets the right block and a nice little layup as she was drifting to the right block and scoops that one up with the right hand and gets it to go. Morgan Ham now in double figures with 10 for Black Hills State as they open up a 41-35 lead, 3:40 remaining. London Pavlica, dribble handoff with Maddie Loftus. She goes right to left and a whistle and a stoppage of play. No shot. Loftus gets into the paint, but whistle before the shot was attempted. It's going to be called on Morgan Ham. That's her third, so that could be important coming down the stretch for Black Hills State. Just the second team foul on the Yellow Jackets, however, as Ashley Greenwood and Deshka Olsen off the bench and into the game for Dixie State. In for London Pavlica. And Brianna Gillen. Ashley Greenwood gives to Johnson, back to Greenwood. She'll try a 6-foot floating jumper, no good, but rebound is loose, and last touch by Black Hills State. Dixie State gets a break, as that one was almost controlled by Messler and just looked like she might have just lost it out of bounds. The Trailblazers will get another chance. Ashley Greenwood to trigger the inbounds pass. On the right side, she gives to Kesley Stevenson. She'll try a three-pointer and hits it. No one guarded Kesley Stevenson on the inbounds pass, and Stevenson has her third three-pointer of the game. 9 points to lead Dixie State in scoring. 41-38 lead for Black Hills State. 3:15 to go in the third quarter. Cross-court pass to Davis. She controls now, puts it on the floor, gives to Wenches. Into Messler. She'll try a 15-foot turnaround jumper. No good. Rebound to Greenwood. And she'll bring it across the timeline for Dixie State. Ashley Greenwood comes off a screen from Brianna Moyai as she veers to the left wing. Now into the corner to Olsen, and she'll try a step-back three-pointer, and Deshka Olsen will hit. Back-to-back three-pointers by Dixie State, and Deshka Olsen has her second three-pointer. 6 points for her, and we are tied 41-41. 2:35 remaining. Black Hills State on the other end, ball in hand of Abby Switzer. Entry pass into Metzler. She'll try a 15-foot standing jumper, no good. Rebound to Greenwood, and she controls across the timeline, trying to push the tempo. She goes round the back. He gets to the low block, and she is tied up. They're going to call a held ball. Possession arrow favors Dixie State. But 2 back-to-back three-pointers, one by Kesley Stevenson, one by Emily Isaacson. And the Trailblazers are back in business off the deck, tied at 41. And this one, she gets it to go on the entry pass. And a good out-of-bounds call by J.D. Gustin. And they're going to get... She threw it off the back. I can see it from my angle. She threw it off the back of the defender, whose back was turned to Ashley Greenwood. And she gets it to go, her first bucket of the afternoon. She can't get the free throw to go, but Brianna Moyai with the offensive rebound. Cross-court pass to Stevenson. To Deshka Olsen, another three-pointer, bang! Deshka Olsen, and the Trailblazers have come to life. 3 3-pointers and an unconventional out-of-bounds play, and the Trailblazers right now on an 11-0 run over the last 1 minute and 43 seconds of game action, and they now lead it 46-41. Timeout Black Hills State. We'll take it. 60 seconds and back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
I got you right where I want you. I make this one, it's over. I win.
No pressure. Bring it.
We may not always play good, but when we want to look good, we come to the Dixie State campus store.
Located on the second floor of the Gardner Center. We'll see you there.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere, and just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
Welcome back inside Burns Arena, getting another look on this replay, and there was the play by Ashley Greenwood, and that's going to be an early nominee for our Catering Concepts Play of the Game. As you're seeing highlights of the Trailblazers' 11-0 run over the previous minute and 43 seconds as they were down by 6, now lead by 5, 46-41, 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Ball in the hands of Wenches. She goes left to right. She gets all the way to the basket, lays it up and in. Raquel Wenches goes unchecked to the basket, and she has 9 points now starting to come to life for Black Hills State. She had 4 at halftime, has 5 in this period alone. Ashley Greenwood behind the back dribble. She gives to Kessie Stevenson. Three-pointer, no good off the rim. But Brianna Gillen with the offensive rebound. No one blocked her out, and she lays that one up and in. She was right there underneath the basket. Didn't have a body on her. She grabbed it and laid it off the glass for 2. And the Trailblazers regain the 48-43 5-point lead. A minute 20 remaining in the third quarter. Backdoor pass to Wenches from Davis. And Wenches now starting to heat up. She's got 7 in the quarter. 11 points overall. Back and forth we go. Ashley Greenwood now controls. Working two-man game with Moiai. Kicks to Deshka Olsen. She now veers back to the top of the key. Gives to Brianna Gillen. Right to left dribble, gets into the paint, floats one up. Tried to find Moiai cut into the basket. But Moiai thought she was shooting. And this one's thrown out of bounds. Turnover by Dixie State. Yellow Jackets take over. Ashley Davis controls and brings the ball slowly across the timeline for Black Hills State. Davis calling out signals for the Yellow Jackets. Dribble handoff with Partima. Back into the game for the Yellow Jackets. Right to left dribble by Wenches. And now into the corner for Davis. And she gets down, finds Messler on the low block. She's trying to get to the basket. She does. Can't get the layup to go, but a whistle and a foul is going to be called as she was working in the painted area. And they're going to get Moiai with a personal foul, her first. And that's a tough ask for Brianna Moiai. A 6'2" junior forward in Katie Messler working on the shorter 5'10" junior forward in Brianna Moiai, and she did a good job to not let the layup go. As Messler misses the first free throw, and she gets the second one to roll over the front of the rim and in. Now she's got 12 for Black Hills State. 48-46 lead for the Trailblazers. 25 seconds to go. Shot clock and game clock separated by about 2 seconds. Trailblazers can hold for the last shot. Ashley Greenwood, she penetrates. Going to be a whistle, a stoppage of play before she gets into the lane. Going to be called about 25 feet from the basket. And they're going to get number 24. That's Ashley Beacom. Her first personal foul. Just the 4th team foul on Black Hills State. That was their foul to give. They're now out of fouls in the event that they do foul on this possession on a non-shooting foul. Stevenson inbounds to Greenwood, takes a peek at the shot clock. Shot clock turned off, Game clock now down to 12 and to 11 and to 10. Greenwood now coming off the screen from Deshka Olsen. Lost it, now double teamed, and it's stolen away by Black Hills State. Down court pass to Wenches, and she tried to get it to go, but no. It's going to be called on the floor, but a good recovery there to stop an easy wide open layup from Wenches. It looks like they're going to get, is it Brianna Moiai? Indeed it is. Brianna Moiai, her second personal foul. But a good job, as you see, Greenwood was just double teamed, lost it, stolen away by Switzer. And she passed it ahead to Wenches, who would have had a wide open layup. Now we have a timeout called by Black Hills State, or maybe it just the referees are calling J.D. Gustin to talk about this one. were discussing something and looked like both teams had come to their benches almost as if there was a timeout call. I'm not sure what the referees were discussing. It couldn't have been a flagrant foul. I mean, Moeaki was just trying to get back into the action and stop that one. Stop the fast break, but Wenches will go back to the free throw line. She's 1 of 2 tonight, and she'll get the first free throw to go. Make her earn it from the free throw line, even though she is a good free throw shooter. 84% coming into the game. She's 2 of 3 tonight. Second one is up and good, and so the layup attempt thwarted, however, but still not enough. And Ashley Greenwood tried to get that one to go at the end of the third quarter, but to no avail. 48-48, we are tied. A good game inside Burns Arena. We got one more quarter to go. 10 minutes up on the fourth quarter clock. Dixie State 48, Black Hills State 48. We'll take a 1-minute timeout and be back with the fourth quarter on a 60-second timeout on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the Trailblazers of tomorrow by providing a culture of active learning, active life. With a paradigm of real-world experience mixed with cutting-edge technologies and rich traditions, we provide one of the most affordable educations in the West, set against the most stunning backdrop on the planet.
Hi, I'm Smokey Cole Bear, filling in because for 75 years, Smokey only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
Meanwhile, the song was wrong. We did start the fire. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Play Eric Amarola's Race Day Mix.
Welcome back inside Burns Arena. Good one for you tonight. 48-48, we are deadlocked. Dixie State and Black Hills State with 1 quarter to go, 10 minutes up on the fourth quarter clock. And it's going to be a barn burner coming down the stretch. Trailblazers outscored Black Hills State 21-15 in that third quarter, thanks in part to a 5 of 9 shooting from the three-point line. At 5 3-pointers in that third quarter, they go 50% for the game and 47% from the field. 16 of 34 for Dixie State compared to 20 of 48 for Black Hills State, shooting 41%. The difference, however, the Trailblazers turnovers, and they're being out-rebounded right now by Black Hills State. And on the first possession, Wenches nearly lost that one out of bounds, and J.D. Gustin begging for it to be called out of bounds on Black Hills State, but they say it was last touched by the Trailblazers. This one tapped, nearly stolen away by Dixie State, but they get it into Black Hills State. Switzer hands to Davis and to Wenches. She tries to dribble, but a whistle and a foul before they're going to get Chesney Stevens, who is back into the game. She sat the majority of the third quarter with foul trouble, and now she gets 15 seconds into the fourth quarter. She has 4. Coach Gustin is going to stay with her. Switzer gives to Wenches. Now into the corner for 3. Up and good by Morgan Ham. A whistle stoppage of play. Referees discussing. And they're going to review that one, whether it was a three-pointer or not. It was Morgan Ham in the corner. For the moment, it's a three-pointer. They're going to review it. Right now, it stands 51-48 Dixie State. On the trailing end of this one, however, they're going to go to the replay review monitor and see if this one was indeed a three-pointer by Morgan Ham. And that play was created by Raquel Wenches. And here's the replay. We'll see if we can get it for you. Wenches passes out to Ham, and she has a foot on the line. That's a clear two-pointer. So they're going to overrule this one and just give Morgan Ham 2 points instead of 3. So instead of 51-48, it'll be 50-48. Black Hills State leads, and indeed it is a two-pointer, a good replay, and a good angle from our CEC TV crew. Want to give a shout-out to them. As always, doing great work. CEC TV run entirely by students, and they do a tremendous job at a great production team, not only for football, but for basketball and everything in between. So a good replay there by CEC TV, and we are back in action. Allie Franks gives to Maddie Loftus and to London Pavlica as she brings the ball across the midcourt stripe for Dixie State. 30 seconds gone by in the fourth quarter. Black Hills State with the first deuce of the quarter. London Pavlica gives to Frank's left elbow. Now she turns, faces the basket. Fake to dribble, handoff to Stevenson. She's still got to find her. Now she gives to Stevenson, back to Pavlica, right wing. Pavlica penetrates, gets into the key, passes Moyai underneath the basket. A tremendous find from London Pavlica to give to Brianna Moyai, who cut backdoor and found her and laid it up and in. Brianna Moyai now with 4 points for Dixie State. London Pavlica the assist. Right to left dribble. On the other end is Ashley Davis. She gets to the low block, but she's going to be whistled for a travel. Coach Gustin was calling for a travel, and the referees obliged, and a pretty clear indication that she dragged that pivot foot. And Ashley Davis commits the turnover for Black Hills State. Quickly in the front corner now is London Pavlica. Now she pulls it back out, set up the offense for the Trailblazers. Dribble handoff with Allie Franks. She penetrates, gets to the right elbow, kicks out to Maddie Loftus. Entry pass into Moyai, cross-court pass into the corner is stolen away by Wenches. And she tried to throw it up court to Beacom, but threw it away. Tracked down by Brianna Moyai, and Dixie State gets it back. Reset on the shot clock. London Pavlica goes backdoor. Allie Franks, and another good pass by Pavlica, and Allie Franks lays it up and in, and she's got 9 points for Dixie State. And Pavlica on back-to-back possessions had great passes to find Moyai and a cutting Allie Franks, and she's got 2 assists on the last 2 possessions. As you see, the defender there stepped on Allie Franks' shoes. Ashley Davis stepped on Allie Franks' shoe, and she had to get that one tied and put back on her foot. So Dixie State leads 52-50, 8:10 to go in the fourth quarter. Entry pass to Messler, and she's guarded closely by Moyai, and she's going to be whistled for a foul. That's her 3rd foul. Brianna Moyai trying to put a body on Messler. Like I mentioned, she's being outsized underneath a 6'2 junior in Katie Messler, just outsizing the 5'10 Brianna Moyai. And Moyai tries to counter by putting some of her body weight into Messler and commits the foul. Coach Gustin will substitute in Michaela Johnson to try to counteract some of that size. Johnson stands 6'2", and now instead they go down low to Davis. And Messler going to commit the foul on Michaela Johnson. Johnson did a good job there of keeping her blocked out. Messler went over the back, however, and commits her 2nd personal foul. First team foul for Black Hills State in the corner. 8:01 to go in this fourth period. 52-50 lead for Dixie State, looking for their first conference win of the 2019-2020 season. London Pavlica, left to right dribble, gives to Maddie Loftus. She gets to the low block, kicks to Deshka Olsen, thought about a 3, backs it out now around the perimeter to Franks. Left to right dribble, she gets into the paint, floats one up, no good off back iron, can't get her own rebound, controlled by Wenches. She's quickly in the front court now. She gets to the low block, and she floats one up, no good, rebound to Olsen, and back and forth we go. Olsen finds Loftus in the right corner for 3, no good off the front of the iron. That one looked good, but just a little short off the hand of Maddie Loftus. And a good tempo to this one early on in the fourth quarter as Wenches goes right to left and blows by her defender. That's why she's so good. She's so explosive, and she leads all scorers with 15 points for Black Hills State. As we are tied again, 52-52, 7 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. London Pavlica controls for Dixie State. She tries to find Allie Franks, but good defense by Davis. Now she gets it to Olsen. 12 to shoot for the Trailblazers. A whistle, a stoppage of play. Looks like they're going to get a foul called on Morgan Ham. That's her 4th. That'll be interesting as well as we go down the final 6:54 of this one. 4 personal fouls on Morgan Ham. Dixie State, 20 seconds now on the shot clock. And Stevenson inbounds to Pavlica. She controls for the Trailblazers, tries to penetrate back out to Allie Franks, who thought about a 3. No look pass to Michaela Johnson, working on the low block to Messler, and she got her on the foul. Messler thinking she didn't get her, but Michaela Johnson working hard underneath, and she draws the foul on Katie Messler, her 3rd. As you see there, yeah, that's a good call. Messler didn't think so, but anytime you see that right arm come down, that's a pretty good indication that she fouled on the play, and indeed she did. Michaela Johnson going to the free throw line, and she'll shoot 2. A good stroke from the 6'3 junior center from Fort Worth Fort Worth, Texas, and Hutchinson Community College, and she knocks in the first free throw. She's on the board and scoring for Dixie State. Nobody in double figures for the Trailblazers. A pretty balanced scoring sheet as Michaela Johnson hits the second one. 9 points for Kesley Stevens, 9 points for Allie Franks, 8 points for London Pavliga, and 9 points for Deshka Olsen. Pretty balanced scoring attack for Dixie State. On the other end, Messler. She gives to Ham, tries to go in low, and it's going to be a jump ball, and a good job by Deshka Olsen to get her hand on top of the ball on that one. The difference between that play and the play before is you see Olsen doesn't swipe the arm down. She just reaches in and gets the ball, gets her hand on top of the ball, and draws the alternating possession that favors Dixie State. 54-52 lead, 6:20 to go in the fourth quarter. Pavliga gives to Franks. Angle left, back to Pavliga. Entry pass trying to find Michaela Johnson. Ball is tipped loose. Johnson has it, and we're going to get a timeout called by Coach Gustin, who stumbled, who was trying to go onto the court to call a timeout, stumbled into the referee. I guess that's one way to get the referee's attention. He does get awarded the timeout. It's going to be a 60-second timeout. We'll take it and be back in 1 minute on the Trailblazer Basketball Network. Welcome back inside Burns Arena. Dixie State leading this one 54-52, 6:12 to go. And the Trailblazers have possession. They're going to trigger the inbounds pass from underneath their own basket. Dixie State right now shooting 47% from the field and 46% from three. As Black Hill State just now getting onto the court after the timeout. Trailblazers were set in their out-of-bounds play set, and Black Hill State just now getting out of the timeout, and here we go. London Pavliga to trigger the inbounds pass. She floats it to Moyati. She controls now to Deshka Olsen and back to Pavliga. 7 to shoot on the shot clock. She runs screen and roll with Franks, gets all the way to the low block, dishes to Moyati, and she lays it up and in. London Pavliga off the penetration. I'm telling you, she's so good at finding open players, and she does a great job there as Moyati lays in her 6th point of the afternoon. Trailblazers now lead 56-52, 5:45 to go, and a quick make on the other end by Wenches. And she's starting to heat up now above her season average. She's got 17. She had 4 points at halftime. She's come alive for 13 points in this second half. Still 5.5 minutes to play. Pavliga gets all the way to the low block, kicks out to Kesley Stevenson. Three-pointer is no good, too strong off back iron. Quickly in the front court now is Wenches. She's got Stevenson guarding her, but she kicks to Martinez, who's got a wide open three-pointer, no good. Long rebound controlled by Moyati, and she hands to London Pavliga, who looks to set up the offense for Dixie State. She backs it out and controls the tempo for the Trailblazers. Back and forth we go, a good tempo, and a backdoor pass to Kesley Stevenson from Pavliga, and she elevates and gets whistled, and she'll go to the free throw line for 2 shots, but another good pass by London Pavliga. She has been creating plays with her passing ability. The 5'7" sophomore guard from Las Vegas, Nevada, and Liberty High School. London Pavliga finds Kesley Stevenson going backdoor. Stevenson elevated, was blocked from behind, but she got whistled for the foul, and she'll go to the free throw line for 2. First one up and good. First player in double figures for Dixie State is Kesley Stevens. She's got 10. Had 3 3-pointers up to this point. This is her first free throw of the evening. Kesley Stevenson, she gets one more. Flick of the wrist, and no good, too strong. Allie Franks tapped the rebound, nearly kept it alive for the Trailblazers. but rebounded by Abby Switzer for Black Hills State, and she'll bring it to the front court and give to Ashley Beacom. Beacom sets up the offense for the Yellow Jackets. She now veers to her angle right. Back to Switzer, top of the key, 12 to shoot for Black Hills State. She gets into the low block, guarded by Allie Franks. A good defensive possession for the Trailblazers, but Abby Switzer gets that one to go with the left hand. 57-56, Dixie State leads, 4.5 to go in the fourth quarter. Deshka Olsen controls, she gives to Stevenson, back to Olsen. She's got a wide open three, she'll take it and she'll hit it. Deshka Olsen has given the Trailblazers a huge scoring spark off the bench. She's got 4 3-pointers, and 3-pointers again brought to you by Mountain America. And she's on her way right now for being our SkyWest Airlines player of the game with the production she's given Dixie State off the bench. On the other end, a whistle and a foul called against Brianna Moyai. And she's got 5 personal fouls, and she'll have to be subbed out. Chesney Stevenson, who also has 4 personal fouls, is back into the game. Dixie State with 3 team fouls, still have 1 foul to give in the period. Black Hills State, no fouls to give with 4 minutes to go in regulation. Wenches on the angle right, entry pass to Ham. Working on the low block on Allie Franks. Good defense by Franks, and the ball is no good. Ripped down by London Pavliga. She's got another rebound. Into the front court for Dixie State. She's calling out the offense. To Stevens, top of the key. Dribble handoff with Deshka Olsen. She penetrates, gets to the low block. Left hand layup is up and good. Deshka Olsen begging for playing time, and she sparked the Trailblazers. A 5-0 personal run for Deshka Olsen, and they now open up a 62-56 lead. And the Trailblazers are in business, 3:42 remaining, and Black Hills State calls a timeout. It's going to be a 60-second timeout. We'll take it back in 1 minute on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
Get our career. And there's the bottom. Does this one have more water?
Can you tell me why? Careful.
Welcome back inside Burns Arena with just a 30-second timeout for Dixie State. And Black Hills State now controls. They give to Switzer, top of the key, now gives to Wenches. She'll drive baseline, floats one up, and is blocked, but going to be whistled for a foul is Kesley Stevenson as Wenches dribbled baseline and got all the way to the rim, but Kesley Stevenson did a good job of recovering. However, she's going to be whistled for the foul. Now out of fouls is Dixie State. See Wenches there. Oh, and that's a tough call on the replay. It looked like Kesley Stevenson got a lot of ball. Maybe she got her with the body down low, but from our angle, that one looked like a lot of ball on that one as Wenches gets the first free throw to go. She's really come alive here in the second half. Had 4 points, like I mentioned, at halftime. She's got 14 points just in the second half alone. She's up to 18 points, but she misses the second free throw. A normally good free throw shooter, 84% free throw. She's missed 2 today. That's been key. 62-57, Dixie State controls a 5-point lead, 3:15 to go. Allie Franks gives to Olsen on the angle right, now back to Franks, top of the key. To the left elbow is Stevens. She tries to dribble past her defender, Messler, and she's going to draw the foul on Messler. That's 4 on Katie Messler as well. She's carried a heavy offensive burden for the Yellow Jackets. She has 12 points as well. But Chesney Stevens will go to the free throw line, and she'll shoot 2. Chesney Stevens, an 85% free throw shooter, so she's the one you want at the line for Dixie State in this situation. First free throw is up and good. Chesney Stevens now with 3 points for the Trailblazers. 63-57 Dixie State lead, 3:10 to go. Second free throw by Stevens is nothing but the bottom of the net, and she's got 4 points, 7-point lead now for the Trailblazers as we approach 3 minutes to go in regulation. Beacom gives to Wenches. She's done a lot in this second half. Spins back to her right. 10-foot fighting jumper is no good, and rebound to London Pavliga. Outlet pass to Deshka Olsen, who's guard gambled, and now into the front court is Kesley Stevenson, and she drives baseline and is fouled. She'll go to the free throw line for 2. That play was set up as Deshka Olsen was streaking down the sideline. Pavliga tried to find her. Deshka's defender tried to cut off the pass, and that's what gave Deshka Olsen the angle to get it to Kesley Stevenson, driving baseline, and Stevenson draws the foul, and she hits the first free throw. Stevenson now with 11 points, matching her jersey number. The Trailblazers in control of this one, 65-57, and Stevenson gets one more. Both teams out of fouls. No fouls to give either way as Stevenson hits the second. Dixie State has 2 timeouts left. Black Hills State has just 1 timeout left. As the Trailblazers now open up a 9-point lead, 66-57. Trailblazers on an extended 9-1 run over the previous 2 minutes. Ham now top of the key gives to Beacom. Angle right. And whistle and a stoppage of play. They're going to get Kesley Stevenson. She was holding Danica Koser, who was trying to come off a screen. Second foul called against Kesley Stevenson. They're in the bonus, so it's going to be shooting foul. And you see there, just trying to come off a screen was Koser, and Stevenson was grabbing her left arm. Pretty good call there. Stevenson doesn't like it, but it's a good call. Koser, she puts up the first free throw, and she puts it in. Her first point of the game. Danica Koser, a 5'9" freshman guard from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, misses the second free throw. Rebound controlled by Kesley Stevenson. 8-point lead, 66-58 for Dixie State, 2.5 to go. Pavliga gives to Franks, top of the key, and a reach and a foul is going to be called against Black Hills State. That's a silly foul, 30 feet from the basket, and Allie Franks had her back to the basket. And a foul is going to be called against Abby Switzer, her 3rd personal foul, as she tried to reach in and steal that one away from Allie Franks. And you're sending a good free throw shooter to the free throw line in Allie Franks. She's been held quiet in the second half, only 2 points to her name in the second half, and the first free throw is short. 9 points overall for the senior guard from Redding, California, and Enterprise High School. Allie Franks, 2 dribbles, a deep knee bend, a flick of the wrist, and the second free throw is good. 10 points now for Allie Franks. 67-58, Dixie State lead. 2:26 remaining in this fourth quarter. Trailblazers at 1 point trailed by as many as 11 points. And they now own a 9-point lead. On the other end, Beacom controls for the Yellow Jackets. Right to left dribble. She gives into the corner for the three-pointer. Is up, no good. That was Koser trying the three. It was too strong, off back iron, and the rebound is tracked down in the corner by Deshka Olsen. She gives to Pavliga, who's got a head of steam and now pulls it back out. She'll work some clock. 2:01 to go on the game clock. 15 to shoot for Dixie State. Pavliga penetrates, tries to go back door to find Chesney Stevens, but thrown a little bit too far away from Stevens. It'll be a turnover for the Trailblazers. Now under 2 minutes to go. Beacom across the timeline for the Yellow Jackets. Left to right dribble, she gets into the paint. She'll kicks it out to Koser. Koser tries another three, no good. Skies for the rebound is Chesney Stevens, and she hands to London Pavliga, who has it stripped away immediately and then recovers with a block. Chesney Stevens kind of put Pavliga in a bad situation and handed it to her with 2 defenders right on her. Pavliga lost it, but then recovered nicely to block that one away. But last touched by Dixie State. As you see there, kind of London Pavliga kind of dribbled into 2 defenders. I guess I shouldn't throw Chesney Stevens under the bus, as Pavliga kind of dribbled into a double team there. And we have a timeout called by Black Hills State. Their final timeout is just a 30, so we'll keep it right here on this timeout. But Dixie State, I mean, I mentioned earlier, down by as many as 11 points. They were trailing 31-20 with about 3.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. They went on a 7-0 run and cut into the lead, got it down to 4 before giving up a last-second shot to Black Hills State to end the first half. And now they've rallied back and have outscored Black Hills State in this second half by a wide margin. Again, down by 6, now up by 9. So they've outscored them by 15 points in this second half alone. A good second half performance by Dixie State. And we are out of the timeout now, 1:36 to go. Black Hills State now out of timeouts. Dixie State still has 2. No foul that gives either way. Entry pass is given to Koser. She now gives into the corner to Beckham. Top of the key, Morgan Ham. She'll try a three-pointer and she'll hit it. Morgan Ham has been quiet for most part of the second half, but she hits a critical three-pointer there. She now has 15, and they'll now start to foul Dixie State. 1:24 to go, and Black Hills State will elect to play the foul game for the final 90 seconds of this one. Danica Koser picks up her first foul. It'll send Ashley Greenwood to the free throw line. A 77% free throw shooter is Ashley Greenwood. The 2-year transfer from BYU, from St. George and Desert Hills High School. Went up and played a couple of years at BYU and is a 2-year transfer from Brigham Young University. Former Cougar. She'll get 2 free throws. She eyes the rim. Left hand shot is up and rolls off the front of the rim. No good. The foul game pays dividends for Black Hills State. Greenwood gets one more, however. 67-61 lead. Free throws once again brought to you by Vintage at Canyonlands. And Greenwood gets the second free throw to go. She's got 3 points. And Black Hills State now gives to Beacom into the front court. 1:15 to go. Beacom, left to right dribble. She'll try a three-pointer left open. No good. Rattled hard off the back iron. And a long rebound is controlled by Brianna Gillen and immediately is fouled by the Yellow Jackets. And Brianna Gillen will head to the free throw line. Gillen is a 60% free throw shooter on the season. Gillen today is 3 of 4. So has improved her percentage significantly in today's game, and a 3 of 4 performance from the free throw line tonight from Gillen. She'll get 2. A deep knee bend, and the first one is good. Brianna Gillen now with 6 points for Dixie State. A 69-61 lead. One more for Brianna Gillen, the 5'9" freshman guard from West Jordan High School. But she clangs it off back iron, no good, and the Yellow Jackets have life. Into the hands of Wenches. She'll pull it back out now, gives to Switzer. Top of the key, entry pass into Ham. She gets on the low block and she lays it up and in. Working on Ashley Greenwood, and just too much to handle for Ashley Greenwood. On the other end, Allie Franks gets the ball in her hands. She passes it up to Ashley Greenwood, and she's fouled immediately. Black Hills State originally was trying to get for a 10-second backcourt violation, but once they got it across the timeline, Ashley Greenwood was fouled, and she'll go back to the free throw line for 2. After the 1 of 3 performance she's had, she just went 1 of 2 from the line, and she'll go back there and make the first. So Ashley Greenwood now with 4 points and 2 of 4 from the free throw line. 70-63, 52 seconds remaining in this one, as Greenwood's second free throw clangs hard off back iron, and rebound to Abby Switzer. Pass ahead to Beacom, right corner, try to enter it into Ham, and it was thrown too high for Morgan Ham, and she can't control it. It's out of bounds. Dixie State gets the ball back, 70-63, 44 seconds to go. Allie Franks triggers the inbounds to Ashley Greenwood, who gets it across the timeline and into the corner, and now she's fouled. And they give it to Beacom. Ashley Beacom picks up her 3rd personal foul. And it'll send Ashley Greenwood back to the free throw line. 1 of 2 on each of her previous 2 trips to the free throw line. First one is up, rolls around the rim, and falls for Ashley Greenwood. She's now got 5 for Dixie State. Trailblazers trying to hold on, opening up an 8-point lead. Black Hills State really has struggled from the field in this second half, as Ashley Greenwood's second free throw is no good, but saved by Black Hills State to Beacom. Now to Ham, who thought about a three-pointer but was cut off by Kesley Stevenson. Koser now, she gets to the low block, gets to the painted area, and she tries to lay it up, but no. And she's fouled. They'll give it to Kesley Stevenson, her 3rd personal foul. And it'll send Danica Koser to the free throw line. She got down to the low block, and You see they're just bumped and fouled by Kesley Stevenson. 71-63. Looks like Trailblazers are going to hold on to this one, barring something crazy, and they'll earn their first win in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference this season. They'll improve to 6-3 overall and 1 of 2 in conference play after getting their first win here tonight, if they can hold on for the final 26 seconds, leading by 8. Koster's free throw goes off the rim over the backboard and no good. And she will get one more for Black Hills State. Look at the wrist. Up, rolls around the rim, and rebound to London Pavliga. She's got another rebound for Dixie State. In fact, that's her 6th rebound for Black Hills State. Dixie State calls a timeout on their end. 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here for the 30-second timeout and kind of get you set. Actually, it's going to be a minute timeout. Let's take the timeout. Let's do a full timeout, 60 seconds, and back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, good. You played before, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's all state in high school.
Good. Let's run some routes. Give me a post route.
All right, let's do it.
We may not always play good, but when we want to look good, we come to the Dixie State campus store.
Located on the 2nd floor of the Gardner Center. We'll see you there.
There is a place where the sun doesn't hide in the winter, where the greens stay green and the crimson canyons still glow. There is a place where dimples determine destiny, and a tiny wooden tee holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where we drive for show, putt for dough, and settle the score with another round. There is a place.
Welcome back inside Burns Arena. Trailblazers leading this one by 8. They get it into Kesley Stevenson and then back to London Pavliga, who's double teamed and not fouled. They're going to call a jump ball. And the possession arrow favors Black Hills State, so this one not quite over yet. Black Hills State, however, doesn't have any timeouts. They're down by 8. It would take a miracle to get back into this one. And they're into the front court now. That's Koster. She goes to the paint. Excuse me, that's not Koster. That's Summer Fox. And as she tries to get the left-hand layup to go, she's bumped and fouled. And they're going to get Ashley Greenwood on the foul, her first personal foul. It'll send Summer Fox to the free throw line for 2. Just 2 free throws for Fox so far this season. She's made them both. She makes the first. A 71-64 lead for Dixie State, and Fox is good on the second. 12 seconds to go in this one, however. And Ashley Greenwood gets the entry pass, and she dribbles it across the timeline. Time running out for Dixie State. Now they just pull back out, and Black Hills State will be content to let the time run out on this one. Kesley Stevenson holds, and that'll do it. Dixie State earns their first conference victory of the 2019-2020 season as they earn the 71-65 victory over Black Hills State. A tremendous performance in the second half after being down by 6 in the first half, and they went on a critical 7-0 run at the end of the half to kind of give them some momentum going into the second half, and they earned the 71-65 victory over the Yellow Jackets of Black Hills State. Let's take a timeout. We'll be back. We'll come back and we'll do our Guru's Sports Grill. We'll just do a short post-game show brought to you by Guru's Sports Grill. We'll give you a SkyWest Airlines player of the game. We'll give you a catering concept play of the game. And then we'll get you set for the men's game against Black Hills State here in about 20 minutes time. Let's take a 2-minute timeout and be back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
You know, we may have started out small, but we were great. Families and fans rallied behind their team. The community cared, and everyone showed up to cheer. Now, we're bigger than ever. Dixie State is going to Division I.
Here we go in
But at the end of the day, it's the community and fans that make us great. Whether you give $5 or 1,000, every dollar, every seat in the stands, every one of you can help blaze our trail to Division I athletics, because this is our team.
There is a place where young and old make connections, where kids feel like grown-ups, and grown-ups feel like kids. There is a place where beauty arises in contrast, where wonder is universal, and laughter second nature. There is a place where friends find a future, families find each other, and feelings find their home. There is a place.
No, I don't actually. No, I'm not busy right now. Yeah, I can talk. I can talk.
We may not always play good, but when we want to look good, we come to the Dixie State campus store.
Located on the second floor of the Gardner Center. We'll see you there. Welcome back inside Burns Arena. Trailblazers earn a 71-65 lead victory over Black Hills State and their first win in conference play to begin the 2019-2020 season, as we are now being joined by assistant coach Kaylee Quinn to give us her thoughts on the Trailblazers victory. Kaylee, obviously a hard-fought victory. You outscored Black Hills State in the second half by 12 points and 23-17 in that fourth quarter. Talk to us a little bit about what the kind of transition was from being down by 6 points in the first half and then outscoring them by 12 to end the game.
Well, we came into halftime knowing that we had to have a big third quarter. If we didn't have a big third quarter, then it would have been a little rough throughout the rest of the game. But we came out, we competed in the third quarter, and then we knew that we had to execute at the end of the game, which Deshka stepped up big time. Ali, London, pretty much all of our starters really stepped up where we needed them to step up, and they finished the game where we needed them to finish.
Yeah, you talk about Deshka Olsen. I mean, she was phenomenal. 4 for 4 from the three-point line, 5 for 5. She did not miss a shot the entire game off the bench. In 13 minutes, she had 14 points, and it was really a big spark for your team in that second half. Specifically, how much did she come in and kind of just with the shots that she was making and the energy that she provided? How much did that help you guys in the second half?
Yeah, Deshka's a special player. She's always ready. She accepts her role. She knows her role, and when her name's called, she's ready. So those big 4 threes, they were huge for us. That definitely gave us our spark. Coming off 5 for 5 for the game, that's phenomenal. That's tough to do as a player, so we're super proud of her.
And you talked about, how big it was for you guys coming out of the halftime break to have a big third quarter. You had a monster third quarter. You go 8 of 16 from the field, and you had 5 3-pointers in that third quarter alone. Up to that point, you'd only made 2 for the entire game, and you had 5 in the third quarter. How much did that little 7-0 run, or 7-2 run, I guess it was, to end the first half, how much of that kind of played into momentum going into the third quarter for you guys?
I mean, it's huge. Once you get going as a team, once you realize that what works, what doesn't work, and we execute on it. So going into a 7-0 run, going into the second half, and then coming out and executing, the team needed that. And the team needed to see that we could absolutely win this game. And so that was a big part of it.
Obviously, played a tremendous second half, and you're in your first victory here in conference play here, and after dropping 2 tough ones to Westminster, and then of course the last night against South Dakota Mines. Now you transition to the road in conference play. You got a road trip coming up next weekend, New Mexico Highlands and CSU Pueblo. How does the mentality change now going on a tough road trip after playing the last few here at home?
Game by game, everything's the same. Every basketball counts, every basketball game counts, so there's no mentality change. Just keep doing what we do, play our game, and execute what we need to execute.
Coach, thanks so much for joining us, and hopefully the rest of the good luck for the rest of the season.
All right, thank you.
Thanks so much. That's assistant coach Kaylee Quinn giving us her thoughts on the victory for Dixie State, the 71-65 victory as the Trailblazers improve on the season to 6-3 overall and 1-2 in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference play. Just a few more minutes here on the Guru Sports Grill post-game show. If we have some second half highlights, let's see if we can run those second half highlights now. There was a handful of highlights in that second half, and this one, Chesney Stevens fighting hard for the offensive rebound and the putback. This was Kesley Stevenson with the three-pointer, and part of a barrage of three-pointers, this one by London Palaga. I mentioned 5 three-pointers in that third period alone. Kesley Stevenson with one more. They just were filling it from three-point range in that third quarter. And then, of course, I mentioned Deshka Olsen was perfect from the field tonight. 5 of 5 and 4 of 4 from the three-point line. And then this play, obviously a tremendous play by Ashley Greenwood there, throwing it off the back of her defender. And Deshka Olsen one more time with a three. London Palaga makes an appearance here with the great passing skills. There's another pass from Palaga to Ali Franks. The first one was to Moiai, and then one more to Moiai from Palaga. She was all over the court in that second half. And it's Kesley Stevenson dishes to Deshka Olsen for another three, and then she drives to the lane. Her first two-pointer, her only two-pointer in the game, but she was perfect and a tremendous spark for Dixie State off the bench as she drives to the rim and lays that one up and in for 2 to help the Trailblazers earn a 71-65 lead and their first win in conference play to begin the conference schedule. Let's move on and let's award a player of the game, and I don't think it's going to be particularly difficult. Let's maybe just give you a few stats and then award a player of the game. We mentioned Deshka Olsen with 14 points. She led Dixie State in scoring, but Kesley Stevenson was 3 of 8 from 3. She had 12 points and 4 assists as well. Ali Franks had 10 points in the victory. London Palaga, she once again filled up the stat sheet. She had 8 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 blocks and a steal. And this is just what she does every single game, and you could just close your eyes and almost be able to feel London Palaga's impact on the game because she does just about everything for Dixie State and filled up the stat sheet once again. And, just a really combined effort for the Trailblazers scoring-wise. Didn't have anyone particularly, way ahead in the scoring game, but 14 points led all scorers for Dixie State for Deshka Olsen. On the other side, Morganham and Raquel Wenches, they went off. Morganham had 19 points. Raquel Wenches had 18 points, and the majority of those coming in the second half of action at halftime. Let's go back. Morganham had 8 points at halftime. Raquel Wenches had 4 points at halftime. So between the two, count them up, 11 and 14 points in the second half. They combined for 25 points in the second half. Black Hills State only scored 32 points. So of the 32 points in the second half were scored by Wenches and Morganham. So we'll give the player of the game, the SkyWest Airlines player of the game. We're going to give it to Deshka Olsen. Obviously, she was a huge spark off the bench for Dixie State, and she gets 14 points to earn her first SkyWest Airlines player of the game this season. As far as our catering concepts play of the game, I think the only one that really deserves to be given this one was the pass, I guess the inbounds pass to Ashley Greenwood. She throws it off the back of the defender. She grabs it up and lays it up and in. Not only that, she gets the foul and she gets the free throw to go to boot, and she converts the three-point play. And you don't see that too often, but every once in a while you'll see that maybe in the NBA or maybe even in the college ranks. You'll see that kind of play develop if the defender's back is facing the inbounds passer. And Greenwood did a good job there of throwing it off the back of her defender, laying it up through contact, gets the foul called, and that is our catering concepts play of the game. That'll do it for us. This has been your Guru Sports Grill post-game show. As a reminder, we want to encourage you to stick around for the men's game as they take on the Yellow Jackets of Black Hills State in about 10 minutes' time. So we'll do a quick turnaround. Carrick Segmenter will be on the call for this one as now he slides from his SID duties. He'll slide over into my seat, and he'll be joined by Mike Olson, and they together will bring you the call of the men's taking on Black Hills State in just about 10 minutes time. So make sure you stick around and watch that one and cheer on your Trailblazers. Women's basketball will be back here. Like I mentioned, they go on the road for 2 games, but they'll be back here not until after Christmas. However, they'll have an exhibition matchup against Yellowstone Christian on December 30th, but then it's back to RMAC play to begin the new year, January 3rd against Colorado Springs. They'll be back here in action, and that's when the next time you'll be able to see your women's basketball Trailblazers back on the floor here inside Burns Arena. Once again, thanks so much for joining us in tonight's broadcast. Dixie State wins this one 71-65. We'll be back. Let's take a 1-minute timeout. We'll get you set for the men's game. And the next voice you'll hear after the timeout will be Carrick Segmiller, joined by Mike Olson, and the Trailblazers men's basketball take on Black Hill State. For the entire CEC TV crew, I'm Grayson Ball. Stick around for the men's game. We'll be back in 60 seconds after this timeout on the Trailblazers Basketball Network.